This is the first show of our Monday doubleheader. I'm here with the SR, Steve Reichel, my pupil. Welcome back to the big show, Stephen. We're getting bigger by the week. Glad to have you.
Always appreciate the time, my friend. Always the craziness going here at the South Florida Tribune Media Network. Let's do it, my friend.
Well, Lessons from the Microphone has a lesson about what we're talking about tonight. Not tolerating fake news. Oh, my goodness. And I can rest assured people, I will be talking about this when the second part of this book comes out later in the year. Obviously, the middle book will be my trip to Europe with Candy. So we're going to have a good time with that. One thing, reason why I'm writing the other book later in the year is I'll make sure I have all the updates through 2025, and then I'll begin to work on that. Meanwhile, when you have an opportunity to go to Europe, why not talk about it? I don't have to be a long encyclopedia, long enough to let everybody know that I haven't been across a big pond, but I am going across a big pond. And you know why I mention it? Because when I'm gone, you're the one who's going to be taking over in prime time, so you better get your ducks ready and make sure all your people are prepared to go in prime time. All right, pupil?
Let's do it.
All right, fake news. And then we're going to go to real news. Can you believe this? A recent example of it was Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, had been banned from UNC football facilities. Guess what? Not true. According to the University of North Carolina football, she was not denied. Some thoughts about that.
I mean, I think at this point in time, the media wants to spin a story of what this relationship is. They're trying to peer into it and poke holes in it as many ways as they can. Apparently, making up issues that went on with his interview about his book, sitting there saying that she was nixing questions and he was peering over to her looking for answers and things of that nature. Listen, there's always an ugly side to what reporting in media is at times, and this is kind of one of those things. I don't get the infatuation with athletes' significant other, regardless of what their role is, whether they have a prominent role in their partner's everyday job and things of that nature. But it's one of these things where it's just like, listen, guys, it's enough. I've heard they've beaten this drum time and time again. The drum is broken. Retired, put away, find a new angle, and obviously North Carolina has said they had enough of it too, because it went to the point where, oh, she's banned from the facility. They don't want her anything to do. This, that, and the third. Like, listen, let's put this to bed. Appreciate North Carolina kind of stepping up. Was like, no, that is absolutely false, and she is not having any type of restrictions from the facility or anything like that. So bravo, North Carolina, keep putting them fake news trolls right where they belong.
Exactly. Not only that, the only reason why this is even a big deal because she's in her mid-20s and this guy's 70. Give me a break. For anything except for the wider age difference, then it becomes less of a story. But again, our responsibility is to address these issues head on. And hearing the professor and the people, that's what we're doing. Another one, though, it's even worse than this. This was really bad. I don't like it. But I'm calling out an individual for all the wrong reasons, or right reasons in this particular case. But in April, get this, from the Detroit Red Wings fans, a lady by the name of Leona Liza talked about a devastating loss. Legendary former coach Scotty Bowman passes away at 91, leaving a void in hockey history. Why am I wearing this hat? Really? Seriously, really? You can put this stuff up? I can't believe Leona Liza. What is the deal, lady? All you have to do is wait for it to appear in every single store. So look at Wikipedia, the score, ESPN, or whatever. Lady, get real. You're making attention for all the wrong reasons. Scotty Bowman is alive and well. He's actually doing a little commentating for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Why do I put it on here? Why do I put such stories? Because this is why we're on the professor and the pupil. This is what I'm trying to tell people to do. Candy, put the book up for a moment, please. There you go. Put it up, and she will do that. Okay, but when you put the professor and the pupil up, then you associate it with this book. Candy, thank you. Lessons from the Microphone. This is the type of stuff I have no choice but to put in that book. Because fake news to me for a guy that can't tolerate factual errors is ridiculously uncalled for. And when you have Leona Liza, although I got to give her credit, she got me to look at this. she makes this show for all the wrong reasons. That's stupid. How can you even talk about a legend of Scotty Bowman dying when he actually didn't? Some thoughts about the absurdity of it. Leona Liza, the double L for all the wrong. I hope she Googles her name too. Well, she made this show with you and I.
Yeah, she's losing on both ends. LL, loser. I mean, listen, it's one of these things where people do whatever to kind of get their name out there to kind of do this, that, and the third. It's another one of these things. You smile, you point, you laugh, you move on, and this should be one of those things. Hopefully, she got her 3.2 seconds of people paying attention to her, and she's moving along with her life, because when you're making up stuff like that with the fact you're saying that someone is dead, that's a problem. That you need help, lady. I don't know if you need a hug, you need a cat, whatever the case may be, whatever it is. I hope you find it, and I hope you find it fast, and just stay out of people's lives, especially in the media and sports world.
Oh, thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate you. Bo is coming in on Facebook. He's one of our biggest contributors on Inside the Pigskin. And he's been obviously busy at night, but he's certainly helping us behind the scenes in other ways. Bo and you will be obviously in my next book when I get it out there. Bo's a great friend of mine. Hopefully one of these days your paths will cross. But Bo, thanks a lot for being in here. Now we're going to look for fake news to real news. And this is good news that I had a chance to see with Candy Edley taking pictures. A guy by the name of Cal Quantrill throws the immaculate inning yesterday at Lone Depot Park. Those 9 pitches, has 3 strikeouts. Boy, you talk about your pitch count being at 9, throwing 3 strikeouts. It doesn't happen very often. But let me go ahead, and obviously the Marlins defeated the Rays by a score of 5-1, and he improved his record to 3-4. I'm going to say one thing about this, so we're going to spend more time on this topic on 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. But here's the thing. Immaculate innings don't come across too often. But in Lone Depot Park, I have seen a no-hitter by Henderson Alvarez. I've seen an all-star game there, and we can just add this to the list. We'll be talking more about the Marlins again, 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. But now we go to real news. I saw it all with all of my 4 eyes, if you count the glasses. You got them, so that gives us 8 eyes here. And that's the equivalent of an octopus with 8 legs. Let's not get too carried away with this thing. What are your thoughts about the immaculate inning?
Like you said, man, that doesn't happen that often, regardless if, you have some guys that are in the Hall of Fame and they've never hit the immaculate inning. So when you get to see something like that, you definitely got to stand up and take notice of it. It doesn't matter if it's if it's for your team, if it's against your team, however it shows its face. When you come across greatness and perfection, you have to stop and awe at it, no matter where it comes. So definitely cool moment for him, and is able to kind of get on the win with that and help his team out. But yeah, 9 pitches is a rarity. That's something you only see in video games anymore.
Normally we go to Steven articles, but I'm throwing an audible at my man from Philadelphia. Instead, we're going to do something different. Steve's going to go ahead and take the forum in a moment and talk about the real and the rare tonight. Obviously, I saw it on Twitter, X. I want you to give everybody an overview of what you had there and where they can find it and how they can continue to subscribe. Then we'll set you up with a station break afterward. So real and the rare, what you had on tonight, the floor is yours, Mr. Reichel.
Yeah, I mean, real and the rare tonight was definitely fun. We're kind of revamping one of the South Florida Tribune's retired shows here, and we're looking to have some fun with it. We've had a couple episodes over the past few weeks. We had BKB, featherweight champion Helen Peralta, just come on, and she was letting us know prior to her fight that she was literally homeless and battling alcohol dependency prior to her winning her fight. I mean, we had Sam Alvey on talking about him just becoming now a 2-weight champion for karate combat, and this afternoon I had a good friend of mine who I've been following her since her amateur career in former UFC and Bellator veteran who retired a few years ago, Miss Jessica Evil Eye from the Cleveland area, and she's out of retirement. She was dealing with a parasite that was basically taking all the nutrition from her, making training really tough for her. It was a fun interview. She's going to be making her bare knuckle boxing debut June 21st in Texas. So really looking forward to seeing her getting back in there competing. And we even talked a little Cleveland Browns football because she loves her Brownies. She will always love her Cleveland area, her Cleveland area sports teams, even though she is now officially a Floridian down there in the Florida area. So a great interview. And guys, you can always find it here on the South Florida Tribune media network, regardless if we're talking the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, the live shows on X. Make sure you guys are showing not just my shows that I'm doing for the real and the rare, but all of Scott's program that he has on here, regardless if we're talking Inside the Pigskin, 108 Stitches, Candy shows with her cast of hooligans as well. You got to show off because you guys are not going to want to miss out, because this month on the real and the rare, there is going to be 2 different signed card giveaways from some of our athletes. So what I'm going to be asking everyone to be doing over the next month, so the end of next month, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you comment on these shows and get to know the guest of those shows. And we're going to be doing some signed cards, one from this evening's participant in Jessica. I have multiple signed cards from her, and then I'm also going to have another interview this Sunday with a current UFC flyweight that'll also be doing some signed card memorabilia, things of that nature. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share that stuff, and make sure you're commenting on it, because if not, you're going to miss out on the free merch, my friends.
There you go. Now let me give you some information, because this is a profession of people, and I have a responsibility to make sure I educate the people. Hooligans is one thing, but Candy Show Fire Up is the country club, people. The country club. I've never seen a woman run it so great like she does with her cast of characters. You got that, bro? It's called the country club. And I'm going to make sure one of these days you get on to realize what a real country club this is. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. As Karen Carpenter once said, we've only just begun. But you don't hear my version of it because my voice is awful. Anyway, but I'll tell you, a voice is way better than mine. It's Candy up like for a station break.
Why, thank you, fellas. The country club, my side of things. Anyways, the South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40 plus years in the industry and how the industry has changed and evolved. It's got a picture of a young Scott with a young Muhammad Ali. You got to get your copy today to find out and see it. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where you can find a plethora of great content. Go check us out. If you want to advertise, call Scott 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you just like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. But most importantly, if you see that red subscribe button, hit it, like us, share us with all your friends and family and all of our participants on all of our different shows. Lots of them have YouTube channels and the like. Go like them as well. Back to you, Scott.
All right, a couple of Candy's characters, as we should say, are J.D. Wyatt, Samira Jai, Penson Sports, and Ralph Williams. Those are the main ones. They do a really good job, actually, at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's an opportunity to give Candy her own show, but more importantly, gives yours truly an opportunity to have a little bit of an earlier night off, unless I broadcast a little bit later. They've done a really good job with that show. and I'm looking forward to bringing more and more guests as time goes on. Like the professor and the pupil growing, Fire Up has come a long way in the time it's been on, and I expect better things of it. And when you get on there, you're going to understand the true nature of that show. No matter of if, it's a matter of when. But a couple of other topics I want to get to, and these will be on Inside the Picks tomorrow. But the purpose of bringing them on, the professor and pupil, Steve and I get to elaborate more on them, and then we'll let the other contributors spend more time on them. First of all, can Indianapolis keep the NFL scouting combine long term? The NFL is considering all sites. New Orleans, new options. Who knows if they'll put New Orleans? But what do you think about the Indianapolis long-term viability there?
I mean, I think it's a good idea to kind of fade away from keeping everything one site specific. I mean, we've seen how well the NFL draft going to different sites has really enriched things and helped things out. And I mean, why not have New Orleans? It doesn't even necessarily have to be a dome place. Just a different location, just to give people different perspectives, different experience. Let other teams kind of have that close up look at some of these guys when they come in for the combine, as long as they have the proper facilities to facilitate the athletes, the media, everything in between. I think anyone should be entertained. Hell, even let them bums down in Dallas, let them host it. I mean, let it go where it needs to go. Let it go where it's going to be enjoyed. Let it go where the athletes will enjoy it, the media will enjoy it. Let the fans get more involved. This is a part of the process. Like, let these people kind of being able to engage in some of these athletes would also kind of be a cool concept as well. I mean, take it one day at a time. First, you have to get it out of Indianapolis, but because the other side of that is what normally they attach to that is the winter meetings as well with the owners and coaches and everything like that. So I think there's a couple different moving parts with it, but I would love to see it be held elsewhere besides Indianapolis.
Yeah, I can tell. We all know you're not a Dallas Cowboy guy. All you have to do is look at Steven's stuff to realize he's a Philadelphia Eagles guy through and through. But I think Dallas would be an ideal place to go. There's a lot of ways you can go. You can do it in New Orleans for all we care. They do everything else there. Why not do it there? And I'm not, because I will talk more about it. Steve and I are pretty much briefing everybody about what we think, because I figure our opinion will carry a little more weight on this show than will tomorrow. I want to defer to everybody else. And we're going to have a good group on Inside the Picks tomorrow night. Our show time is around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's what we do when everybody gets in there. Ben Troop will be on there. Christy Jones planning to have on, or I'm looking forward to having Melfar Jr. Hopefully he gets on, but he's going to be a big asset to the show. Again, you're right. They moved the NFL draft around. Why not move this? The major reason Indianapolis has done it, it's centrally located in the Midwest, and Indianapolis, is easy from east, west, and all that. But don't worry, the NFL, once you used to play in NFL Europe, they can certainly move the NFL scouting combine for sure. One other topic, again, it's one of our not long shows. It's not quantity, it's quality, and we call by the keep it simple, stupid thing. So we're keeping it simple, stupid. But the Baltimore Ravens signed John Harbaugh to a 3-year extension. Some thoughts about Johnny Harbaugh staying with the Ravens.
That personality in that place is exactly where he should be. I mean, it's one of those things where you can't write people into places just because they're just, you can't force things, and he's one of those things where it's like one of those puzzle pieces. It just meshes well. Mr. Harbaugh in that Baltimore Ravens culture, it's a match made in heaven, and glad to see them kind of lock them up, keep them there for a multi-year deal. Us Eagles fans got something to celebrate today because Nick Sirianni did the same thing today. So it's one of those things where we're starting to see some of those guys that deserve some more money, deserves the extension, things of that nature. As far as the head coaching front goes today, absolutely love to see it there. Hopefully he's there for a few more years, and we'll see if they're able to bring another Lombardi back to the Baltimore area.
Well, he's done a good job with Lamar Jackson for sure. But now that you brought up the Nick Sirianni, since time is allowing us to do that, I want you to give me some more details about what took place for those of you that are just joining us tonight. I don't know if we'll get around to that tomorrow because we have a really loaded show. But tonight's a perfect opportunity to talk about Nick Sirianni. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it started off terrible in here, Philadelphia. For the better part of the first year and a half he was here, only thing that the media could talk about was how bad his entering press conference was. You know, fumbling over words, using bad euphemisms, anything that could have went wrong, and it went wrong. But when push comes to shove, when you go look at everything, there's only one coach that has more wins in the first handful of years in the league, and that was who? That was Bill Walsh. So he's in some good company there. He's got 2 Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl ring in his repertoire. This was absolutely going to happen. It's something I was talking about with Ben not too long after the Super Bowl. We all knew that his contract was up and that he was on borrowed time, and they didn't even rush to get it done. So technically, his contract ended at the end of last season, and he wasn't going anywhere. We knew he wasn't going to go anywhere. Right. It was just a matter of when they were going to get the I's dotted and the T's crossed to get the extension. He's here for multiple more years. He's been in the playoffs every year. He's been in here. He's an absolute players coach. You heard a lot of what Jason Kelsey said when he retired. A lot of what Fletcher Cox said before he retired when they had that absolute fall apart. When people were asking, I'll go, are you guys going to move on from Nick Sirianni? The look on Fletcher Cox's face, he didn't before he responded or told you what he kind of felt about it, and the organization felt about it. He was brought back here. They put a good coordinator around him, and they got the job done this year. I mean, when you look around that team, he is not just a player's coach, but just he get guys to play for each other and play within the system. It's a very hard thing to do, getting grown men to kind of leave the train of thought of what they've known, what they thought was being a team player for most of their lives to buying into what Nick does. So it's one of those things where you got to tip your cap to Nick. You got to appreciate what he's done in his body work so far. It's gonna be a fun time here in Philadelphia. I hope that we get a multiple Super Bowl victories out of them. You still got to play the games. You still got to get through the season, and you still got to make the run. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm pretty confident with everything they have in place, the front office, the talent on the field, everything like that. I think Nick's in a really good place, and I don't think he wants to go anywhere, even if someone did offer him a crazy contract. But that's just me.
Well, let's face the reality. Nick's finding a way to deal with the Philadelphia media pretty well. I got to know the guy well enough over at the Super Bowl, and I like him. I think he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, he addressed a tough question that I hit with him about losing all his assistants. He handled it well. I don't know if his PR guy liked it too much. We'll talk about assistants leaving, but too bad, so sad. I don't care. But Nick handled it well. He's handled Philadelphia media well.
Years too, Scotty. He's dealt with it multiple. He dealt with it this year. He's dealt with it with the Super Bowl run the prior year, losing offensive and defensive coordinator. This year he only lost the offensive coordinator because Vic Fangio basically said as soon as he signed the contract here that he's buying a place and he wants to die here in Philadelphia. So you didn't have to worry about that side of it. So it's one of those things, like when you lose those things and you're able to kind of flex off of that and still be as successful as he's won 10 games and every year he's been here in was it the 4 years now? I mean,
right.
That's a hard thing to do in this league.
Well, think about it. Vic Fangio leaves the Miami Dolphins. What's he get for his effort? Super Bowl championship ring. So be it. What a difference I-95 takes to go north and south.
Yes.
All right. With that said, what we're going to do is this. I want you to preview everything you have going on with what your plans are. I'll do that. And just so everybody know, that 108 Stitches Baseball Talk will be on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network, a.k.a. South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button. I'm wearing red, so that should be very easy for everybody to be able to hit the red subscribe button so you can see all of our great programming coming from Steve's end as well as our end. Of course, the real and the rare. All right, Brian Pettit, we appreciate you. And actually, Brian Pettit is a strong candidate to come on The sports exchange on Wednesday night once in a while. Ryan, get ready. You and I will be talking very soon. I had a lot to get done between the Marlins this weekend and preparing for this lineup. So, Steve, the floor is yours.
Yes, the floor is mine, and we got a busy week, folks. As Scott has already been, as he was already letting you know, tomorrow night inside the pigskin, me, Benjamin Troop, Chris T. Jones. Hopefully, Melvin Farr is also going to be joining us. So it's going to be a fun packed on that. But that's not it. That's not even close to being it, my friends. Wednesday morning, we're going to be joined by former New Orleans Saint fullback, because obviously the fullback is about to become a big thing here in Philadelphia. Going to bring in Marvin Powell III. His dad is Marvin Powell Jr., who was an All-Pro offensive tackle for the New York Jets. He also played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That should be a fun interview in between all the nonsense that's going to be going on over the next few days. And Friday afternoon, we're going to be joined by Blaine Bishop, who is a former Houston Oiler pick. He also played in the Super Bowl with the Tennessee Titans. He also played here in Philadelphia for a period of time. He is a four-time Pro Bowler, made the All-Pro the 2000 season. Should be an interesting one picking up with him. And working out a few more kinks for this weekend. It should be having the current BKFC light heavyweight champion Josh D-Day Dyer on. Couldn't quite get him on yesterday. He kind of got lost in the Mall of America. That's not a hard thing to do, lose time when you're in the Mall of America. So can't fault him on that. We're going to get him rescheduled. Same thing with DJ Linderman. Going to get him rescheduled before his May 31st fight. And then the big one Sunday afternoon. As of right now, we have absolutely confirmed there's going to be Lauren Lucky Murphy, or Taylor, depending on when you knew her in her career. And also going to be joined by another BKFC Ice Wars athlete as well, to kind of be adding more on to the Ice Wars stuff that we got going on here, and the events that they're going to be putting on in the month of June. June 14th, they're going to be there in Michigan. June 28th, they're going to be up there in Canada. The Battle of the Border should be interesting. Can't wait to see how those events play out. And, we're already going to have our second guest athlete from that March 14th event. So we got a jam-packed weekend, and that's not all the programming. I still haven't got some of the normal programming that Scott and Kane to be putting on to the week. So, guys, please make sure if you're coming across this and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We got all the great stuff here. All the best stuff's going on right here. Make sure you guys are tuned in and checking out everything that we're doing, not just what I'm doing.
Let me tell you, one of our top subscribers, Jay, actually brought up your BKFC Ice Wars. We talked about it on the show last Thursday night. Unbelievable. Jay's unbelievable, this guy. He tell you one thing about him. The ultimate team player is Jay. We got Brian Pettit. We got J.D. Wyatt.
There's a lot to do, Stephen. That's what I do. I keep myself busy.
Oh, Stephen, if you only knew the other half of Reichel. I'll tell you, this guy, there's a reason why he's on Professor to People, because nowadays he's coachable. He's funny, but he gets the social media down. And you talk about a professor and pupil duel that we have, he's certainly coachable. And that's the biggest criteria you have to get on here on our network to stick around. We're looking for people that want to develop their brand and are willing to put forth just a little effort to get it done. As far as our programming is concerned, well, tonight, obviously, you see it, the professor and the people. Tonight's episode, Not Tolerate Fake News, from a guy who won't put up with any of it and has talked about it in his first book, well, second book as well. Also, afterwards, we have underneath such as baseball talk. Trent Clark will be on there. Eric Katz, another great young guy that I have in my system. George Eichhorn will be on there. Let's see, got George, myself. Oh, am I missing? I know I'm missing somebody. We got George and Taylor Phillips. There you go, Taylor. You got that. They'll follow us immediately afterwards. Tomorrow night is, as Stephen mentioned, okay, we have Inside the Pigskin. Yes, Ralph Williams. There's a big amount of fake news. Glad you made it on here. Yeah, just under the gun. Ralph Williams, another guy who contributes for us as well. And hopefully one of these days, as he gets spend more time watching and listening to shows, he'll get an idea what this program is all about. So he sets himself for an opportunity to come up. Ralph, he has a lot of educational work for you to get it on here. but at least I know you made it on. That's the most important thing. You just saved yourself from a message you didn't want to get. Thank you very much for making me not type with this front finger. I still have this bum thumb. Hopefully, I'll get this little splint taken off later in the week as well. As far as Wednesday night's agenda, sometimes the Motor City Man Mouth when I have a good guest. We have the Sports Exchange and, of course, Thursday Night Sports Exchange. And keep in mind, too, on Saturday, I participate in Sports Wrap myself. I'm the executive producer. Got Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty. And last of all, we have the Fire Up Show, the Country Club with Candy Ebling. Oh, if you haven't seen that show, there's nothing like it. The Country Club people. J.D. Wyatt, Samir, they're going to be on the Professor and the People one of these days with us. We're going to show them what it's really like to learn, aren't we, Stephen? We're building a brand so these guys can sit here and come in and have a good time. Yeah, and of course, I had my show the way I see it. Well, guess what, Ralph? I have our show the way we see it, and all I'm going to say is your homework, okay, is you better make sure you watch this show so you know the way we see it if you know what's good for you. Okay. And Steve's laughing at because he knows I'm right. Hey, I'm one of the few guys he can deal with because he knows the way we do it. Tell you a funny story about Steven Reichel, though. Here's the thing. When I gave George Eichert a hammer, I was chewing him out. Steve said, what handle you be able to chew me out like that? Until he got to figure out that George and I have been at this one. Oh, no, I can handle it. Now, how many times do I get in your grid? A lot, because he's used to it. If I get on your case, it's because I love you. I want to keep you around. But Steven's a new guy in the flock. Now we have a good old, unbelievable relationship. Why do you think the guy got a few shows and has his own StreamYard gig with me? Because he's good. No, he's great. Factual error. No, not really. But I'm not going to give you any more than that because you got some room for improvement. But that said, final station break. I'm getting louder. Of course, I got another show later. But Candy Ebling will soften me up a little bit. That's a caffeine kicking in. Caffeine's what I call my PED, performance enhancing drink. Go ahead, Candy, take it away.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders. It is written by, yes, Scott, the Motor City Mad Mouth Morganroth, especially on caffeine. Ha, 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 ha. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Get your copy today. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. Go to the website, check it out. There's actually a merchandise store, too. So go get yourself some South Florida Tribune, I don't know, sweatshirt, T-shirt, shorts. Go look at it today. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest, either on one of Scott's shows or on the Country Club, you can always email us, or if you have a topic idea, email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to advertise or sponsor one of our great shows, whether it be one that Steve's putting on, the Real and the Rare, or any of them, please call Scott, 954-304-4941. We'd love to have you. Or if you just want to advertise on all of them, we're not that way. We'll take it. And if you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Monday nights, Professor and the Pupil, and baseball. Tuesday nights, football. Wednesday and Thursday nights on Sports Exchange and Fire Up. You never know what you're going to get. You usually get a dose of hockey on Sports Exchange either Wednesday or Thursday night. And Fire Up, well, as Scott puts it, that's the Country Club. But you're going to have to tune in to find out. And then, of course, Steven throws in a bunch of these real and rares. You never know when we're going to get a good interview. So definitely go check out our YouTube channel and everybody else that's on our platform. If they have one, please go check them out too. Hit the like button, share some love. Have a great, that's the rest. That's it. Scott, I'm done.
All right. Well, you know what, Steven? I'm glad you brought the Mall of America up. Great stuff. Really? Seriously? Really? I actually rented a tuxer. I don't really go out there and rent them. But I have one of my best friends. I stood up in his wedding out in Minneapolis. I love the place. God love those people in Minneapolis, too. They're really nice, especially when you get lost on one of those 35 Ws or wherever those freeways are. They tell you how to get back and forth. Now you have GPS that helps it. But I ended up renting a tux over at the Mall of America. I don't know if you knew this or maybe you did know it, but it used to be the home of Metropolitan Sports Stadium where the actual Twins and the Vikings used to play there as well. Some unbelievable memories there. I had a good time actually covering the Minnesota Twins over the spring, and glad you. So you're a guy that didn't. If he got lost in the Mall of America, you can tell him from the Motor City Madmouth to him that he's completely justifiable, and that when I see him, I'll be more, and you'll bring him on one of our shows. That's okay, buddy. I get it.
Well, yeah, he apologized because, like, we were talking beforehand because the reason why he was there in Minnesota is because he was checking up on his opponent who he just cracked his skull all up in this bare knuckle fight. The funny part is that they're teammates under the same management company, so they're actually.
Yeah, but now you got to bring them on fist and the pupil. Here's what you're going to tell them. I talked to my publisher, the guy running the show, the guy who, by the way, just everybody ought to know it. It's not, I haven't really mentioned it, anything, but yeah, but anything but the Hubert Humphrey does. Don't get me started for that. Oh, I can tell you stories about that. Interesting one by Earl. Tell your guy I've given you the permission to invite him on the Real and the Rare, and we will talk about the Mall of America. Fair enough. Will you do that for me?
Sounds good, brother.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, bring him on. It's okay. He's cool. No big deal, of course. But now he owes me an opportunity on our show. That's all you have to him. And I'll tell you, if he can't come on that show, don't worry. I'll find a day for him to get on that show. But but really, ideally, it would be on a Monday night. Of course, maybe later in the summer we can figure out. But we'll try for Monday night.
Yeah, we'll definitely work that.
Yeah, that's your little homework. Of course, I've given Steve Reichel all kinds of homework. He gets it done anyways. So if he doesn't write an article, then at least he knows the Audible. I threw him on him tonight. We'll talk about his shows, and that's hardly the worst thing on the planet because he does what he's a company man through and through between. But ultimately, if I do get seriously ill at some point down the road, Steven's going to be the guy who's my right-hand man that'll help me pick up the slack without a doubt. So with that said, that does conclude this edition of The Professor and the Pupil. On behalf of Stephen Reichel, our producer, Candy Ebling, my name is Scott Morgan, Rock the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition. And we will see you on 108 Stitches Baseball Talk in just a bit. Stephen, great stuff. And we got some business to take care of tomorrow. Right, my friend?
Absolutely. Inside the pigskin with me, you, Candy, and 3 other knuckleheads.
You got it. It's going to be a heck of a show tomorrow. Hope you can join us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. God bless. Stephen, outstanding work. So whether you're right or not, the real and the rare. What's going on, Joshua Dorr? Just popped in here at the right time before we sign off. We got Joshua Dorr. Sorry for calling. Didn't realize there was a show. Guess what? There is one now. That's our lead in the baseball. Cyberuski, what's going on? We're going on. No big deal, Joshua Dorr. You're good. He's one of my local guys down here, so he gets to pass for giving me a FaceTime call. They just want to know if there was a show tonight. Hey, you got to love the energy by these guys, though, right, Steven? They call. They want to know if there was a show tonight. Hey, Steven. Hey, Josh. Before we sign off here, Cyberuski, let me tell you something. This Stephen Reichel is a guy to me who's going to go out there and be my heir apparent when the time comes. So just so you know, okay, so just so you know, soon in 108, did you discuss Seymour Weiner on baseball? No, I haven't, but you're welcome to mention it in the chat room, but that's going to be a loaded show. But that's a topic you can talk about later. I'm not talking about heir apparent immediately, but let's face it, at some point or another in life, you have to have a succession plan. And I feel that Stephen has worked his way very hard to follow the program, and that's what we're doing. And he's the guy that I'm grooming for the job. So there you go. How about that? Cyberuski, Josh Shador, under the buzzer tonight. 108 Stitches Baseball Talk follows us. Stephen, as usual, well done. But the one thing I do hope that you're going to do over the Memorial Day weekend is make a little bit more progress on my book, because I know you're 100 pages in it. You know where you're at. I mean, you have to finish it, but 25 or 50 more would be good, so we can make it a bit more smarter. How does that sound, Stephen?
Sounds
Not
good.
saying you have to. Make an attempt. That's all I need. All right, that does it. 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. Next, lot of programming lined up. Stephen is my tag team partner, and we're going to keep doing more and more beautiful music together. That does it. Hit the red subscribe button. I'm wearing red. Don't get any better than that. I'll see you shortly. Stephen, we got some major work to do tomorrow. Good night, everybody.